What's going on, everybody? It's UTXJG the Don, representing the game of the Illuminaughty, and we are here to talk about Ready Player One. Surprisingly, nobody from GI saw this movie besides me and Ethos. Ethos isn't around right now. We ended up getting him for PAX East, but besides that, he's still back on hiatus, so we'll see what happens with him. So it's gonna be me solo, but I do have some Patreon members with me that's going to help me talk about Ready Player One. We have young Horatio. Y'all see him all the time. Literally needs no introduction. He built so many damn videos. But what's up, Horatio?
I always need my clout. Stop denying me.
shout out to young Horatio as well. He just got that young affiliate status on Twitch. So huge congrats to you, man. So keep working on it. And we have JKL. Say what's up, JKL.
Hey, what's good, y'all?
And last but not least, we have Grand Scheme. Say what up to the people.
What up?
All right. So let's get into it. This movie isn't as fresh in my mind as maybe others in here, but we're still gonna try to work through it because I got like bits and pieces. But I wish I would have saw it earlier. Wish we could have actually did this earlier, but we had to go to PAX East, so you know how it is. But anyways, I'm gonna just go over like the general plot of it, and then we'll like talk about specific points and how we feel about different characters and whatnot. But for anybody who did not know or just wants like a general plot on Ready Player One. It's basically a man named Halliday ends up making him and this dude named World ends up making a virtual world called the Oasis. Initially looking at the video or the movie for any of the trailers or whatever, you know that it's a virtual world, but you really don't know what it's about. But it's basically just a world where you can do pretty much anything. You can be whoever you want. You can be a male, female. Ain't nobody cared about what gender you are. You could be talking to a dude, and you never know in real life. So it's like that. Like pretty much do anything that you want. They have like infinite worlds, so pretty much it's up to your imagination. Halliday ended up creating this world because like he just wanted to get away from reality, and ended up like being one of the richest dudes in the entire world. Literally everybody is on the Oasis, so pretty much everybody's just trying to get away from the real world. The main character, his name is Wade Watts, goes by Parzival in the Oasis. His main character again, and he's from Cleveland. It's funny because Gransky, you said that you live in Cleveland right now, right?
Correct.
So I would imagine that you wouldn't want to be in Cleveland looking like that. I know that a lot of people make jokes about Cleveland, but it looked pretty shitty. So I would understand why people would want to go
Cleveland
to
or Columbus? I thought it was Columbus.
Oh, Columbus. Yeah, you're right. My bad. So it's Columbus. Sorry. It's Columbus. So close. How close is that to Cleveland?
Like 6 hours.
6 hours. Okay. Well, Columbus then. I would imagine nobody would want to stay in Columbus with it looking like that because it looked pretty run down. So that's it's crazy how like in the future like things end up being like that. They were like literally staying on top of each other, and that's why they call it the stacks. But in any case, he's been he goes to the Oasis. He's kind of he didn't really make a name for himself at that particular point, but he has like his little friends or whatever that he does stuff with. So besides like doing whatever you want, there's also like this other world where you can actually compete, and when you compete, you actually get like stuff that you can use in the game, like special weapons, armor, all that stuff. If you die in the Oasis while you're competing or whatever, then you lose all your stuff. So it's just like a regular video game. Only, you come back, of course, but if you do, then you'll just have to work for that stuff again. Not everybody does that, but Parzival and his crew do that, and that's why they have all the loot. But in any case, Halliday, the originator of the Oasis, ends up dying, and when he dies, he has this contest, which again you see on the trailer, where if you find all three of these keys and you get everything, you figure out all the Easter eggs or whatever, you end up owning the Oasis. You can do whatever you want with it. Obviously, for everybody in the entire world, they want to do this because you basically infinite money. Like, you rich as fuck, you ain't gotta do shit else for the rest of your life. So who wouldn't want that? So everybody's literally trying to get all of these keys so that they can own the Oasis. There is this crew called IOI, which is basically the man. They're trying to, of course, also get control of the Oasis to do whatever evil corporations do. Colonizers, this is what they do. So when they end up doing this, that's basically what the plot thickens. So IOI is going after Wade Watts because he ends up being smarter than everybody else because he knows pretty much everything about Halliday. And with that being said, he ends up obviously at the end of the movie owning the Oasis. But we're gonna talk about the specific points about the movie because basically explaining like that, like everything, it was pretty much everything that a geek would enjoy. But the one thing that surprised me about this movie, I know that they were trying to pit it against Black Panther when it first came out. They were kind of like trying to set this weird narrative that, oh man, everybody who watches Black Panther, you know, they're going to go see Ready Player One. Ready Player One is going to kill Black Panther, But surprisingly, I didn't hear really anybody talking about Ready Player One. Me being interested in it from the trailer, I was like, oh, like this is definitely something I would want to see. It's had hella comic book references, movie references, video game references. Like, why not? I'm a nerd. Like, it's level to this, but like I understand that stuff. So this would seem like the movie that would be for me. But really, not that many people were on that. I don't know about y'all, but like, how did y'all feel about the overall like setting of Ready Player One, and then also comparing it to Black Panther? Do you feel like it should have did better than it, or are you like surprised that like not too many people were talking about it? We'll start off with you, Grand Scheme.
All right. You said we comparing it to
well, like
how
how did
you said?
Yeah, how did you feel about like Ready Player One as a whole, and like the comparisons to Black Panther, like it competing against Black Panther, and like how like really not that many people were talking about it, or at least like not in my area. I didn't really see like too many people hyping it up like once it actually came out.
Let's see. Black Panther, I knew that shit was coming up off the joint. I didn't figure out about Ready Player One until maybe a week ago, and then I didn't really have the nerve to see it until you put out the little message for it.
Oh.
So comparing the two, Black Panther is way better than it. Even though it wasn't spectacular, Black Panther wasn't spectacular to me, but it's way better than Ready Player One.
Okay. JK, how you feel about it?
The way I felt about Ready Player One was like, because the only reason I actually paid attention to it, like whenever I go to the theater, I see the previews of it, and I was like, you know what? And like closer to the release date, I was like, you know what? I guess I'll go watch it. But it really felt like how many like pop culture Easter eggs and references can be fit into like 2 hours. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I still enjoyed it, but I don't even know where the whole Black Panther like competition and comparisons came from. Like, my eyes, I was like, that's kind of stupid. It's two entirely different movies, and of course, Black Panther did it much better. And I didn't expect this movie to be better than Black Panther because you know it was just like a movie for like, you know, comic book nerds, video games, like whatever, like just for you to enjoy. Like, it was nothing behind it, really.
Okay. Younger Ratio, how you feel about it?
Yeah, so like I saw like the trailer for it sometime before it came out. Well, that's about it. Like I didn't know about no hype train about it. Obviously, I never read the book. But just looking at the trailer overall, not really knowing much about it, I didn't know what the overall like feeling was gonna be for it. Like, is this like a family type movie? Is this like a kids movie or something? It just look good, or is this like it's gonna have like a serious story, but you got gay characters running around and whatnot? I couldn't really judge the tone of the movie just from looking at the trailer. But
I didn't know it had a book.
Yeah,
it has a book.
Me
I
neither.
Actually seeing the movie though, I was kind of didn't have any kind of expectations, so I was generally pleased with it overall. And comparison to like Black Panther, I didn't even know they were doing that comparison stuff to Black Panther, which I feel like it's kind of odd to me. Like I think J.K. said it really is just two separate, different movies. The tones are completely different, and I think Black Panther reached more to a bigger target audience than to what Ready Player One was reaching for. So I really can't. I'll just have to say the Black Panther and Ready Player One, they're both on their league of their own, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would have to agree with that. It was weird. Like, I know why the media was like trying to compete them against each other, because that's what, you know, supposedly big movies do. But I feel like they just kind of like dropped the ball in the overall media with Ready Player One, because like not too many people were talking about it. Like y'all said, like y'all didn't even know that it was a book at first, and I didn't either. I ended up finding that out like closer to release. So it's kind of crazy how like I understand because like geek culture, I understand like both of those types of audience that would like go see Black Panther would probably go see Ready Player One. But again, I don't feel like that happened like they were initially thinking that it would. So again, nothing wrong with that, but it was just a weird narrative that like some of the media was trying to portray like up until the release of Ready Player One. Because I don't think I would have to like look and see like what the numbers actually were for Ready Player One, but I'm pretty sure it didn't do like anywhere near what Black Panther did, because Black Panther is like killing records right now. So it's like not even a competition for real. But and that's how it is. Let's talk about some of the characters in the movie. So obviously, you have your characters in real life, and then you have your characters in the actual Oasis. But I'm just going to paint them as a whole. For me, I would say they're probably my favorite character was 8, and that was the chick who in the Oasis was a dude who was working on cars, and one of the funniest things that she said in there was like, because the main character Parzival, or Wade Watts, was trying to go after Artemis, like he knew about her, and once he saw her, he was like, man, like I love you, and he was just being like super duper strong, and he shouldn't be, because he don't even know this chick like for real. But in any case, like when he was saying like, man, like I love Artemis, 8 was like, dog, you could be a 300-pound dude living in her parents' basement, or living in his parents' basement. Like, you don't even know who Artemis is. Like, you don't even know if it's an actual chick, and then turns out 8 is an actual girl. So
that was ironic as fuck.
Yeah, it was definitely ironic. But once she said that, and then they ended up meeting in real life, I was like, well, that makes total sense. So it wasn't really a surprise then, but I just found that funny that ended up happening. What about you, Uncle Ratio? Did you have a favorite character or least favorite character in the movie?
Let's see. I think my favorite character, even though this character didn't really do too much in the movie, was the villain. What's that villain dude?
You talking about like the head of IOI?
Not the head of the IOI. I'm talking about the dude that had like the big skull in his chest.
Oh, IROC.
IROC, yeah. IROC he was pretty funny. It's like nothing what you expect when you see him. Like he saw how he looked, and then he just started off talking about, I think I got like arthritis in my neck or something.
Yeah, he was like, can you stand this way? Like
yeah. So yeah, they did a little classic little comedy bit for the villain. So I thought that was pretty cool and refreshing. He was like one of my favorites. Other than that, I think the movie really just focused on what's this, Parcel or whatever his name was again. They really focused on the main protagonist the most on that movie, so it was really hard to find characters that you like because they didn't really have too much shine on it. But true. I thought the villain dude was a pretty cool touch on the movie, so he's my favorite.
Okay. What about you, JK? Any favorite or least favorite characters?
I gotta agree with you on H, because I found H to be like hilarious to me in like a lot of the movies, especially when they entered the Shining scene.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, that scene was funny.
Oh yeah, I was rolling.
They straight got lost. Yeah, that was a good scene.
Yeah, and I agree with you on the villain. I liked him as well. I forgot who the name of his voice actor was, but I instantly recognized the voice.
There's a dude named T.J. Miller played IROC.
Oh yeah, that's his name.
Yeah.
And then what was his name? The samurai dude.
You got Sho and Daito. Sho was the 11-year-old, and Daito was the older one.
Yeah, Daito. Yeah, that's he probably was like my second favorite. Cause he was kind of lit in some scenes. Like when the old girl put up in the van, he was like throwing hands with her. I was like, oh, he actually like know how to fight in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, what about you, Grand Scheme?
All right, my favorite character had to be H. There was the comic relief throughout the whole movie, and I think that was a dude playing a chick, or what? I don't know which way it was.
It was a chick playing a dude. It was a chick in real life, and then a dude in the old.
Yeah, she was the black chick. The black chick with the dreads or whatever.
Yep.
And I like the villain dude all with the other dudes, because he got me with that neck shit. Like he got me with that neck shit, and outside of them, there was nobody else. They didn't really show no backstories on anybody else besides the core people.
Yeah. It was like so many people, and this is going to be the next topic because I think one of you mentioned it already, but they were like throwing so many pop culture references at us. It was kind of hard to keep up. I understand that like you want people to be able, oh, that's Joker, that's Harley Quinn, that's Batman, that's Freddy Krueger, that's Tracer from Overwatch, those are the Spartans from Halo, those are the Ninja Turtles. Like, it was so many people. I'm sure that I missed some people, but they were just throwing so many people, and like they didn't really serve a purpose. They were just there. It was just like a second, you'll see them, you walk by, or they do a move in the final battle, and that was it. Like I said,
it caught my attention with the Master Chiefs. They caught my attention with them.
Yeah, like that was it was
like 5 of them motherfuckers.
It was lit. Yeah, it was lit. But again, like I just kind of feel like with this particular movie, they was just like throwing too much at you. Sometimes less is more, and I kind of felt like that they should have like not thrown so many characters at us, because like you got to watch it like 2 or 3 times. I understand like you kind of, maybe that was their purpose. Maybe it was their purpose. Maybe they just wanted you to have to watch it multiple times because you're like, oh, I missed that. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like it didn't have the same flair for me. I don't know if any of you all felt the same way about that, or like if there were some characters that like you did not catch, and you were like, oh, like maybe I want to watch it again so I can catch them. What's up with you, Grand Scheme? How'd you feel about all the characters that they threw at you in this movie?
Right. First of all, all the characters that they threw in there, you cannot see them for no longer than 1 second. So if you missed them, you missed them. I just know I seen Tracer a couple of times, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like you said, with the Ninja Turtles, the Harley Quinn, Alien, and random shit. I ain't really seen nothing too mainstream. Like I said, with the Master Chiefs all coming in, that made me grin a little bit. I didn't see nothing else that wowed me other than that. I seen who else did you see in that movie? I ain't really see nobody other than besides the few people that we've been playing now.
I think probably like one of the best cameos that I saw was Gundam. I thought that scene was pretty dope when he got into the Gundam. But other than that, like it wasn't really too much that wowed me. Like you said, Halo Spartans, and I was like, that's cool, but again, it was just like too many. So for me, it was when the Gundam popped up. I was like, all right, we getting it cracking in here. JKL, how'd you feel about all the characters that were in the movie?
I definitely agree with y'all. It was a lot of characters, and like everything was going at like an extremely fast pace. Like especially like in like a large battle or something, it was hard trying to keep up. And I saw the IMAX, so like it was really like distracting, like trying to like scan the whole like inside the screen in like a split second. I did pick up on some of them, like you'll see like Battletoads in there. Of course, you'll see like Tracer from Overwatch. I like Freddy Krueger, Joker, Batman, like all of the people, except like the obvious Easter eggs that was like right in your face that they focus attention on, but they had like so many of them in there that you couldn't really see. I thought about like getting this like when it comes out on Redbox or like Netflix or something, so I can like pause it and watch it, like just like go through it, just like kill time or whatever. But I do agree with you. One of my favorites was the Gundam, because like that's why I like my boy Ganji when he was like, I choose the form of Gundam. And I was like, because like the whole movie, I was waiting for an anime, like a clear anime reference. I didn't get one until that scene, and I was like, all right, that's what's up.
True. Yeah, that was kind of weird too. Like y'all throwing everything else at us. Like, what, we couldn't get like a Goku, we could get Naruto, like some other anime reference.
Yeah, I was waiting for one.
Expecting to see Naruto running around.
I know. Yeah.
Nah, they would have put a spirit bomb out there on like the final battle. Like,
boy.
No, they did. I think they did.
I don't think it was obvious.
In that
like,
one, I think it was like the Kamehameha, something like.
Nah, you did the Hadouken.
Yeah, it was a Hadouken.
Yeah, that was a Hadouken. Okay.
Yeah. All right. What about you?
I thought it was Kamehameha first.
I'll go ahead. My bad.
Nah, you good.
Okay. What about you, Horatio? What do you feel about all the references?
So yeah, from the beginning of the movie, it made it pretty clear that these character references was just like just so you could feel like these are just regular people, like just because these characters are showing up like that or whatever from different games and everything. They're just trying to make it seem like, all right, this is the norm. So there's no we're not gonna focus on any of the cameos on them. But like one of my favorite cameos, or the cameos I found interesting really was the Battleborn characters. I don't know if people remember playing Battleborn at all, but you see a lot of Battleborn characters in this movie, and I was like, they trying to sneakily try to promote this game again after it died. Like,
You know what? I didn't catch that. I
oh
see
yeah,
there's
so
somebody
yeah,
catch
if you
about
weren't paying attention, like even like straight at the beginning, you'll see like the part where Parcel was just he had just gotten to the game. You know, he's walking down that hallway. One of the first characters he walked by is from Battleborn. When I seen it,
I don't remember that.
yeah, when I seen it, I was just like, huh? All right, maybe that was just a one-off thing. And then there's another scene, I can't remember what the scene was, but I saw like the witch that was in Battleborn 2. And I was like, man, they throwing a lot of Battleborn characters in there. I see them. But the character I really like, was watching and looking forward to see a little bit of was Chun-Li. Because, you know, that part where they did a huge battle royale, I'm thinking, all right, Chun-Li about to go off, it's about to hit 1,000 people up. But then, you know, you got to keep the scheme that, this movie's not really focusing on those other avatars. It's main characters. You know, give you this nice sneak picture, preview, tracers there, and all that good stuff. But, yeah, you really had to, like, try hard to look for all those cameos of your favorite game or whatnot, but they definitely wanted to focus on the movie. They were just the norm in the background, and I think that was just like a nice little plus for everything in the movie. That's all.
Okay. All right, so talking a little bit about the special effects, I thought that they were A1. I didn't really see anything that was like cheesy or that was off to me. So I thought that the visuals were very, very good. I didn't see like any character to look out of the ordinary or like messed up compared to their like being in a video game or in a comic or even in another movie. So I thought that they did good with the visual effects. The one thing that I found weird, and this doesn't have anything to do with the actual visual effects, but the overall like story and how the Oasis works. Everybody puts on a headset, but like even like multiple times in the actual movie, you see people like literally walking around while you have the headset on. So I found that like kind of dumb. I know that Parzival or Wade Watts, what he did was go down to a van, and he had him a setup where he had that treadmill that every time he walked, like it was like he was walking in real life, but he was standing still, and that worked for him just in case if he got into some like crazy action. But not everybody else had that luxury of doing that. So you see them like literally just walking on the street and like actively punching and kicking and stuff. So I found it like very problematic. I'm like, how are you going to do this? Like, you're just putting on a headset like in the middle of the street. Like, what happens if you get hit in real life? Like if you walk into the street and get hit by a car because you're in the Oasis.
That was my biggest issue.
Yeah, I was like, I get that the Oasis is this imaginary world where you can be anything, but I was like, that just doesn't seem safe. Like, unless you're in your own home. And even if you're in your own home, like you're seeing people like just punching stuff in their house. And like, what if you punch your children or something? Like, so somebody gets in the way. It's kind of like reminds me of like when the Wii first came out and everybody was like slinging their nunchucks. Like it kind of reminded me of that. On. Yeah, if you didn't have a wristband on, you just like launch that bitch into space or something, like just and hit somebody in the eye. Like
video chick was, she swung the fuck out that bitch and broke her TV.
Yeah, I remember that. So I don't know like how y'all felt about that, but like I just felt like that particular part about like how the Oasis works, where people like just put on a headset, but you're still susceptible to anything else in the real world. I just found that to be like hella dumb. So how you feel about that, JKL? Did you feel like that was like a good thing to have, or do you feel like the plot should have been like a little different with like how the Oasis works?
It should have been a bit different. I thought the same thing too. When they showed everybody in the streets like all in Oasis at one time, like when they were fighting, I was like, that's a major flaw. Because like, especially you got people doing like kick flips and kicks and all that stuff. I was like, how are they not hitting each other?
Right. It was super weird. You feel the same way, or?
Yeah, I didn't really think about it. At first, when I seen it and I saw him go into that treadmill, I was thinking, cool. Everybody got that little you call it Omniverse treadmill or something?
Yeah.
Everybody got that treadmill. And then, then I seen the scene where they fighting in the street and all that stuff. And I was like, all right, so I guess they just know they spacing. Like, it's just like doing everything I can to ignore that part. Like, all right, we'll just keep it rolling. Cause yeah, that didn't, that'd probably be the only little weird plot about everybody publicly just putting on the game and trying to play it out in the middle of nowhere or whatever.
Right. And Grand Scheme, he said that he noticed that too, and wasn't really feeling it.
Yes, the main scene. Let's see. It was one scene where the woman was playing in the house and that fucking kitchen was. That was one.
Yeah.
And then when they was all that one big fight and they was just all fighting in the street, I'm surprised nobody was.
Right, like they
was all conveniently on the sidewalk.
Right, like they could have clapped them. Y'all wouldn't hit each other like the entire time.
And another thing that was weird to me is that they had that suit that allowed you to feel everything. Yeah. So when the girl was filling him up, he was actually shit, and it just got weird at that point.
Yeah. Cause like not everybody even had that suit. That was something that like you had to spend like some big bucks on. Cause like how the Oasis work was like credit. You can get credits in the Oasis to buy weapons in the actual Oasis, but you can also get in real life purchases. So just imagine like you get a whole bunch of credits. Like you can actually like get something worthwhile in real life. And Wade, when he ended up winning the first key for the Oasis, he ended up getting like a whole bunch of credits, and then he bought one of those suits to wear in real life. So there's also some other stuff when it comes to virtual reality, actually feeling it in your real life. But yeah, I was like, this is kind of weird, but I guess that's what they do, or the kind of the narrative that they wanted to play, like for all the rich people who can actually afford those suits. Could just feel everything, but again, that's a bad thing too, because as you can feel like people touching you, you can also feel like gunshots and stuff. So it was a negative and a positive when you actually wear one of those real life suits or whatever the hell they were called. Let's move on to the actual, like, besides IROC being the main like actual villain who was like messing stuff up, you had Sorrento, who was the leader of IOI. And again, IOI was just one of these corporations that came up. They ended up like specializing in a whole bunch of things for the Oasis virtual reality. They're basically like the man, with quotation marks, the man in this movie, Ready Player One. How did you all feel about Sorrento's character? Like, I kind of feel like he was like just like the typical, oh, I'm the head of I got all the money and I just want to take everything from everybody else. Besides the part where we found out that he like directly worked with Halliday and Morrow, like when they were initially working on the Oasis. Besides that part, I just felt like he was just kind of that typical like douchey type of character who didn't really want anything but just to get richer. The rich get richer. Then if you all feel that way, we'll start off with Grand Scheme.
I gotta agree with everything that you said. He really didn't surprise me with. Plus his character, it looked like Bruce Wayne to me. And he, I can't say anything more about him. He wasn't all that interesting to me. I could see that he was the obvious douchebag, bad guy and all that. He just was a regular, basic bad guy, corporate bad guy. So everything was about money. Pretty much whatever drives corporations. He was the face of it.
Yep. Younger Ratio, how did you feel about Sorrento?
Yeah, he was like your typical corporate bad guy, like everybody's saying, because he was all about the business side of everything. But when it came about when it came about to actually like do something in like real life, or like really do something, he kind of scared, shied away from it, or he was kind of scared, and he was like, nah, why would I do that? I got goons. Something like that. So he was a pretty typical bad guy. They didn't go too crazy with it, which is pretty cool with me.
Okay. JK, how'd you feel about Sorrento?
Yeah, pretty much I agree with y'all. Cause even like in that flashback you had with Holiday when they showed him working underneath him, like you saw how he mentioned it, but all right, what if we did like different type of packages for people, and like implemented that, and like so you saw back then he was all about the money and stuff. So yeah, he was really that typical businessman.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wasn't really feeling him. He was just kind of like there. He was just someone he was kind of like a placeholder. Cause like y'all said, I felt like IROC in the Oasis was a much more like fun villain to me. That's Sorrento. He just kind of like just a typical corporate dude.
He was a meh.
Yeah,
a meh character.
Basically. Basically. Let's talk a little bit about Halliday, the actual creator of the Oasis. When we ended up finding out, and this was basically what the Easter eggs were for, just more about his life. And it was interesting, but yet kind of like typical at the same time. How he was kind of like this, geeky guy, and he ended up having a love interest back in the day when he was initially working on the Oasis. They went out on a date, and it just didn't go exactly as he planned. Like, he liked dancing, but he didn't get to actually have that dance with her. He didn't have an actual kiss with her, and these were some of the things that he wanted, and this was one of his regrets as well. And that was, again, one of the part of the Easter egg that you have to find out what Halliday actually regretted in his life. Morrow ended up being the person who ended up marrying one of his love interests, basically the love of his life at that point. And this was also one of the reasons why he worked so hard on the Oasis, because he kind of wanted to escape that. He had some regrets in his life, and he wanted to escape everything. And I feel like once it got through, the story like ended up being kind of typical. It wasn't surprising to me how like somebody who is Holiday ends up being in kind of those situations where he doesn't end up getting a girl because he's too shy or whatever, and then as he goes through life, he kind of regrets it. He still ends up pretty much alone. He didn't have any other love interests after that either. So he ended up dying a lonely man. I mean, he ended up like kind of having a small fallout with Morrow as well, who was the other person who ended up working on the Oasis with him. So it was like once you got through it, it just kind of ended up being kind of typical to me. It was a cool story, but once you get down to it and kind of break down the plot, and it was just kind of like, well, I seen that coming because of who Halliday is. Horatio, we'll start off with you. How'd you feel about Halliday and like his entire story?
I thought Holiday as a character was actually pretty cool. I mean, I liked his little comedy bits and stuff like that. He was like awkward funny or whatever. I thought that was pretty neat. I didn't really expect him to, since I don't know anything about the movie. When I actually seen the character, I didn't really expect much from the character. But the whole scene where he does like he's presenting the little Oasis for the first time to people, and he was like, "Yeah, look under your chair." And under the chair, there's nothing there. Like, I thought that was pretty funny. It was an Oprah Winfrey reference.
Yeah.
And then he was telling them, "Yeah, I'm bringing some stuff out." But as far as like his backstory or whatnot, I don't know. Maybe I'm like one of the few people, but I really didn't care about his backstory. I can kind of like care less. But obviously the movie was drove off of that. Just finding out some stuff about his life, personal issues. The whole his girlfriend didn't dance with her. Like, I guess he was scared or something like that.
Yeah.
And they end up watching the movie or some stupid. I'm like, yeah, he tripping.
Yeah, so they go into the club. They stay at home and watch The Shining. Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with him, but
damn,
yeah.
all you wanted was a kiss. So, all right.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Like as a character, I thought it was pretty cool. He wasn't really. He drove the movie, and he hit a lot of strong points. So yeah, as a character, he was okay to me.
Okay. Grand scheme, how'd you feel about Halliday?
He was a sweetheart. That's what he was. He basically every other nerd who goes to games to escape from reality, and they just stay in like a little corner, don't get no. He was just a grown nerd, because what was they in, like 25, 40 something, and they were still playing games in the 80s and shit. He wasn't anything different than me. He was basically referring to everything that what we're doing now, pretty much, because the Oasis kind of reminds me of that.
Okay. JK, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. How'd you feel about Halliday as a character?
Yeah, I agree with Grand Scheme. He was like awkward funny. And so I liked them. Whatever. Like sometimes like some of those awkward funny moments were like a bit cringy. It was like, but all in all, I thought that he fit well into the story. I didn't have a problem with him.
Okay. All right, then finally, because we're not going to spend time on all the characters, but finally, I just want to talk about a little bit about Wade and Artemis as a whole. Now, Wade, he ended up, again, he was kind of like that typical nerd kid. Like, he was also kind of really like Halliday in a lot, in a sense, because he didn't really get any girls. He was just kind of alone. His parents died when he was really, really young, so he didn't see them. He ended up living with his aunt in Columbus, and he just kind of like looking for his place in life, and the Oasis was it. I felt like if it wasn't for the Oasis, like he probably would like have little to no purpose in his particular life. When he ends up seeing Artemis, he just fell in love like immediately. Didn't even know who she was in real life, and didn't even know what she was about, because he ended up like getting into like some real shit, like because they were trying to overthrow the IOI, and even though Wade like hated IOI, he still like didn't really know like what he was up against, because he was just like confused. Once he ended up getting to bed, and IOI ended up coming at them in real life versus only in the Oasis. So like he was just kind of weird with that. He was talking about some I love you. Artemis was like, I don't even know who the hell you are. But he was intrigued the entire time. Like he was just kind of being like the typical like kid who like never got any play, but once you actually like find a girl who you like, he's like, oh, like I'm madly in love, like I want to kiss you, I want to do things to you, and he doesn't even like know who she is, but he just intrigued on like what she's about, or at least in the Oasis. But how did you all feel about like their relationship together? Start off with you, JKL.
At first, I had the same mindset that H had. I was like, man, you didn't even meet her. You like barely talked to her for like a day, and you like, oh, I'm madly in love with her or whatever. I was like, yo, you tripping? You sprung off with somebody you never seen before. But I do think like later on in the movie, I like the relationship. Like it seemed like, because when they try to put their relationship together, it seemed forced to me. Like they were forcing it way too much. Mm-hmm. But like later on in like the movie, I came to like accept it. I'm like, all right, you know, it works. But at the beginning, it definitely felt like it was way too forced.
Okay. Younger Ratio, how'd you feel about the relationship?
Yeah, it's a typical relationship for a movie. You know, you got this two characters that they both kind of like on the same page or a wavelength for whatever the plot for the movie is, and then you got the guy chasing the girl that, you know, saying at first was like, nah, ain't about that life, and then all of a sudden just his personality winning around. I don't know what it was that made each other fall in love with each other, but you know, it was just one of those things like, yeah, you got to have a love interest in the whole movie somehow, despite that this guy was like super nerdy and nerd out. And I don't know, it was kind of forced. It was just like, I wouldn't say forced, it was just kind of like necessary, I guess, for the movie. It's just funny watching and seeing Artemis in real life with her birthmark or whatever, because you know, if I would have seen, I'd be like, oh damn, I mean, hey, like put some hair over that, hey, you know, you look kind of nice,
like some Prince Zuko type.
Yeah. I was like, but he handled that pretty well, so you know, mad respect to him, because you know, I would have messed that up the first time. But the relationship was okay. It was just something that was necessary, I feel like, for the story.
Okay, how about you, Grand Scheme?
Their relationship was extremely cliche. Like what y'all say. He literally fell in love with her. Didn't even know her real name or anything. He was basically filling up her avatar, so she lived. Like what H say in that movie? A 300-pound dude named Chuck.
Yeah, living in his mom's basement.
Living in her mom's basement.
So you could have been in that situation. So you could have been, which no gay shit, but it's when especially when he confessed to her. He confessed to her in the middle of a gunfight.
Yeah.
You couldn't find a better time to do this shit. You over here getting shot up in the gut and shit, and you admit your love to her and shit. And it was just cliche to me. Like it was cool seeing them get together in the end and shit, but of course they was gonna get together in the end. It's cliche.
Right. So yeah, it was just kind of like, like more than one typical kind of moments in this movie. Again, it wasn't bad to me, but I just feel like the overall plot, minus like everything else, all of the cameos, all of the other scenes in the middle of it before we actually get to the final battle, all of that was cool, but again, like when you kind of break everything down, it was kind of something that we've all seen before or we've seen coming before. I didn't really like catch too much that I was like, oh, like they kind of caught me off guard with this particular movie. It was just like kind of there. You were just along for the ride, but you've been on this ride before. I think that's kind of a better way to describe it for me personally with Ready Player One. Again, it wasn't a bad movie, but I've just seen it before. Again, with Steven Spielberg, one of the best directors of all time. But when this movie came out and after seeing it, it was like I enjoyed it, but I could see myself like not watching it again. I would only watch it again just for the references that I might have missed, like the Battleborn ones. But it doesn't make it a bad movie. I don't want anybody thinking that I think that it's bad. It was just kind of just something that I've seen before, like with the overall plot. It was just with the Oasis, it just kind of put a different perspective on like, oh, you got to overthrow the man before they end up, messing up the whole world and getting control of it. So that's just me. That was my like overall synopsis of the movie, like after seeing it and analyzing it. So with that being said, we are going to, unless anybody else has any other particular scenes or characters that they want to talk about before we get to what we thought about Ready Player One with our score out of 10.
Yeah, so let's talk about Chun-Li
sorry,
being
go ahead,
in the movie
Rachel.
for like 2 seconds.
So you just mad about that?
Nah, I'm just a little mad about that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, they go Ryu, we go Chun-Li. You know what I mean? Then I seen like in the beginning, was it Freddy Cougar? I was like, yo, what these characters didn't even make sense. But nah, I don't really have anything else here. You can go ahead. We can go ahead.
Okay. Grand scheme. Anything else you want to talk about?
I just want to know what was the saddest moment in that movie to y'all,
The saddest moment?
or the most tender or something like that.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, you're right. I guess maybe like the whole ballroom scene when she unlocked the key. Cause like remember like he showed up and she tried like she was beautiful or whatever, but he was like, hey, he didn't even say nothing, just like let's go.
Cause I could have sworn that you was supposed to feel like something for the holiday guy. You supposed to feel something, but I couldn't.
Yeah, like the second key when they went to the Shining area, I kind of feel like you said, like they kind of wanted it to be a sad moment, but it really wasn't. I'll probably say the saddest moment, which it didn't really last long, was when Wade actually confessed his love to Artemis, and she was just like, "You don't know me, like you don't know anything about me." And I was like, damn, like he was just trying to get some pussy, maybe. Like you ain't even want to give it to him.
Yeah, trying to help you out.
Yeah, yeah, but it was like he was trying a little bit too hard there, and again, like he didn't actually know who she was, so he was tripping. But she kind of told him off. He needed to talk because he needed to be brought back down to earth. Because you can't be just pursuing somebody like that just because you feel like you madly in love. You don't really know nobody after a day, bro. Like you just are a day. And
about his whole name too.
Right. Oh yeah, he tripped, right? Oh my god, I was so pissed when he said, "My name's Wade." And she was like,
yo, you like, what?
Like, what the fuck? Like, they're listening to us, man. Like, oh my god, I was so fucking pissed at that. So again, that part wasn't sad, but like when she told him off, I was kind of feeling a little sorry for Wade, but he deserved it though. He needed to hear that.
Nah, I think it was the sad part. Was supposed to be a sad part was his trailer being exploded with his aunt.
Ah, yeah.
I think that was supposed to be sad, but at the same time, I was like, man, both those people weren't shit. I ain't gonna lie.
That's also true, yeah. Especially the he wasn't supposed to be the uncle, the stepdad or whatever the fuck he was.
Yeah, like your aunt was just threatening to put you out on the street. You know what I mean? And you got this weird, I don't know who he was. The off again boyfriend or something like that. I was like, yo, that's some real rednecks.
Like, I never want to hear you again. Well, you're not, bitch.
I know he felt sympathy. Like, well, I know he was sad at the moment because, like, that is like the family. His aunt was, and then like she raised him. But at the same time, like her boyfriend, I was like, yeah, but as her boyfriend, I was like, fuck him.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping it was just him that was in that explosion.
Right.
No, right. You're right.
That's why I was like, it was
Auntie
bittersweet.
still cared about him, you know, but the whole like this what messed me up was I would put you out on the street. Like, nah, all right, Aunt, I'm done messing with you.
Yeah, I was
You
just
know what I mean?
like, I was just like, damn, y'all that mad at Wade that y'all found him in real life and blew the whole stacks up? Like damn, he wasn't even in there.
Right.
Fuck everybody else, huh?
Right.
That was like that's a goddamn tower.
They said we don't give a fuck. We blowing this whole stack up right here. Make sure you did. I'm like, well, all right.
The crazy part was it was like, oh, you were last seen walking in it 3 days ago. I'm like, see, I really thought he was in there for 3 whole days.
Yeah, like for real. No.
You're like, you ain't left it 3 days.
I'm like, yeah, I'm sure that people do
Shit,
that because you know people do that in real life. They'll stay to like a freaking video game cafe and don't eat or sleep or even go to the bathroom and then they end up dying. Like I kind of feel like it's the same situation with some of the people in the Oasis. Like they just stay in there and don't do anything else. Cause I know like Wade mentioned that he was like yeah, besides eating and sleeping, like I don't even do anything else but going to the Oasis every single day.
Yeah, it's like just having what they call Cybex out here in Japan, and basically, it's like a internet cafe or whatever, but you could actually like stay there. Like there's like private rooms you can get where it's just like literally either like a couch in there or a bed.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's open 24 hours. So what you do is you go in there and you pay for the amount of hours you say you plan on wanting to stay. So let's say it's like 3 a.m. and you just be like, yo, I just need a spot to chill till like 6 or 8 or something like that when something opens and I can leave out. So you just go in there, you pay for that many hours, it'll set you in a little cubicle with like it don't have to be a cubicle, but it could be like a room with a bed or whatever, but it'll have like a computer. You can either it'll have a computer or you can bring your laptop or whatever, and it'll have like an Ethernet cord, you could hook up, and you could just game in there for as many hours you want. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna bother you. You can order drinks. There's a bathroom there. There's a library.
Wow. Yeah, I
Board.
never knew that. It's literally like kind of
Dang,
that's a
put
way.
you
That's a
on.
place to escape. Yeah. Literally a place to
Come out here to
Like a
Japan.
good
They
place
got
to
it.
go.
They got it already.
Good place to go when the wifey get you in trouble.
Right.
Right.
As soon as you're in trouble with the wifey, all right, well, I can go.
I've been there a couple of times, but you know, for some undisclosed reasons. But yeah, it's nice though.
You got something to tell us, Ratio?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
He dropped the single. He dropped it.
Too many people be listening to it. You know, talk about it offline, but they got it out here.
Got you, fam.
But yeah, with the overall message, especially at the end, obviously, somebody at the door. But at the end of the movie, when Wade and Artemis ended up getting the Oasis, well, everybody got the Oasis because he gave shares to everybody. H-Show, Daito, and Artemis. They ended up closing the Oasis on Tuesdays and Thursdays because they didn't want people to immerse themselves in the Oasis every single day of their lives. So that was kind of a message to like people in the real world. We don't have anything like the Oasis yet, because something like that could end up coming in the future. You never know. But with just like engulfing yourself in technology, it's kind of a message to like every now and then just take a break, step outside, and just enjoy the real world, because again, it's not that bad. I know that a lot of crazy things have been going on. I mean, we freaking got Trump in office. We about to have World War III any minute now, but with that being said, there are still some good things about the world and actually going outside. So I appreciated that in the end. Again, I kind of found it to be kind of typical, but it's still a good message nonetheless. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get to our overall scores out of 10 for Ready Player One. JKL, we will start off with you. What do you rate Ready Player One out of 10?
I give it like a 7.5 out of 10.
7.5. Okay, that's decent. Any reason why?
Like I said, it was enjoyable for the most part, but I felt like there were quite a few things they did in there where I was like, typical. I was like, all right, well. And that it had some flaws that could have been better. So it was like, although it had its flaws, but overall it was still enjoyable to watch. So that's why I gave it 7.5.
Okay. Younger Ratio, what you giving Ready Player One?
Yeah, I like the score. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 because the movie acting was great, so it wasn't too like queasy and stuff like that. So I know we didn't really mention him, but I think Simon Pegg was really good for his part in this movie. the cameos were a little short-lived, and the ones that went on a little longer, like the Iron Giant and all that stuff, that was pretty decent. I liked all that. The story is kind of typical, but you know that it's all about how the movie goes about it in a way, and I thought they were pretty good with their ways. It's just, you know, they didn't really hype up, or I would say there wasn't a really like a standout character in this movie. They focused mostly on the protagonist, and you know, the story, they didn't overdo the story, which was good, but you know, it's a nice watch. I probably wouldn't watch it more than once unless it like comes out on like DVD or nothing like that, but it's definitely worth going to theater to check it out.
Okay. Grand scheme, what you giving Ready Player One?
I'm gonna give it a solid 7.5. I liked my favorite cameo was the Spartans coming out because Halo's my favorite game. I did not like the lifestyle some of these people were living. Like you just walking down the street, people just playing the Oasis. Yeah. They walking down the sidewalk. Like it killed me that not one person. It just killed me just how convenient nobody's running. And the story, you kind of knew everything that was gonna happen. You probably just couldn't tell how it was gonna happen. And since I wasn't all too surprised, I did enjoy it. It's not a bad movie at all. It's decent. It was a $5 movie for me, so it was $5. And that's my opinion on it.
Okay. I would also have to give it a 7. I would give it a 7. I like the visual effects. Everything about that was dope. I liked all the cameos, even if they were very, very short-lived. But again, I agree with everybody else. The story was pretty typical. It's stuff I've heard before, I've seen before. It was just in a different package. But again, that doesn't make it a bad movie. Again, it was just something like I wasn't surprised when I actually saw it. I wish that one of the supporting characters for Wade was actually a pop culture reference. Any one of those characters like Sho or Daito, I wish that they were Ryu. Or one of them could even be Chun-Li. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, I wish that we had at least one of those. Maybe there would have been a conflict of interest. Maybe they couldn't get clearance for that to happen, or maybe they just wanted the supporting characters to be their own little avatars or whatever. But I think it would have been nice because again, they weren't in the movie that long. I wish that one of them could have been at least like one pop culture reference character that we all liked. Again, it could have been anybody. It wouldn't really matter to me. But besides that, I thought that it was all right. It was all right movie. I would say that it's at least a rental, if nothing else. I would definitely not say to skip this movie. I think that a lot of people would enjoy it. But again, once you like break everything down, I just kind of feel like it was just typical, just in a different package. So, and that's my review. I give it a 7. We get 2 7s and 2 7.5s, I believe. So it's about a 7.25 for the final score when we round everything together. So that's our review. That's our review on Ready Player One. If you like the video, go ahead and like it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Go ahead and leave us a comment on what you thought about the movie. If you want to possibly get on a video like this, like our Patreon members, JKL, Grand Scheme, and Yonka Ratio, please consider supporting our Patreon. As you can be on video like this, you can get access to our Discord, get access to a AAA game and an indie game every month, get a chance to be on GI Radio, get a chance to be on the GI podcast, and much more coming soon. But again, with that being said, I'm UTJD the Don, and it's with Younger Ratio, JKL, and Grand Scheme, and we are out. Peace.
Peace.